Welcome to a new episode of Weathering the Storms of Life with the Rainses. Here's Rob Rains, Sally Tippett Rains with you, coming to you from Sally's Choose Happy studio at the home office here, not the STL Sports Page studio where we normally do our video broadcasts from, but obviously different time right now with everything going on in the sports world. So we're going to have a little word of inspiration from Sally, and they're going to get to our newest quiz.
All right, so we're going to get right to the quiz in just a minute, but I wanted to give you a little inspiration. We have this thing on our bathroom wall, and it just couldn't be more appropriate for today. Do what you can with what you have where you are.
And hopefully where you are is at home, staying safe, and kind of getting through this like the rest of us. And we'll be back to covering sports and writing about sports and you reading about sports and watching sports here hopefully before too much longer. All right, today's quiz is about food and St. Louis restaurants. Questions contributed by Suzanne Corbett, who is our food and travel expert on STLSportsPage.com, as well as some extra bonus questions from another friend of yours.
And Suzanne has been working for us really hard, adding what's going on the restaurant scene as far as takeouts, and she's updating things, so check out her article on our website.
And your other, we're following that up with a few questions from another friend of yours.
Lisa Flittner.
Yes.
Came up with some, she sent us some questions about wood, so let's see what happens here.
All right, no further ado, you get out a piece of paper, jot down your answers, or just follow along here and think about your answers, and then we'll review all the questions and then give the answers at the end of the quiz. So question 1, love wine? Do you love Missouri wine? Then you should know what the state grape of Missouri is. We're asking for the name of the state grape here in Missouri.
Number 2, what downtown eatery was famous for not having a sign? It closed in 2013, then recently reopened. Now I'm pretty sure it's probably not open unless for takeout. But anyway, it's a famous downtown restaurant, but it's famous for not having a sign.
Question 3, before they became stars in the major leagues, Yogi Berra, Joe Garagiola, worked at a restaurant on the Hill. Can you name that restaurant? And for a bonus point, but we're not giving any prizes, so it's just you keeping track of your own bonus points here. That restaurant is now known by another name. So if you could answer that question is all, you'll get a tap on your shoulder for a bonus point. Well, what else are we going to give them? We're not giving any prizes out.
Number 4, who was Julius Biggie Garignani's restaurant partner who played for the Cardinals? Julius Garignani had a restaurant. He had a restaurant partner who played for the Cardinals. There's
a bonus attached to that question as well. Can you name the last location of that restaurant? It was in more than one location in its history, but the last one. Question 5. Golet's Candy Company, which began in Belleville, Illinois, across the river, is the maker of which famous candy that was a favorite of President Ronald Reagan? The Golet's Candy Company manufactured candy that was the favorite of President Ronald Reagan. We want the name of the candy.
All right, number 6, the St. Louis candy maker who is renowned for its chocolate Easter monkey and the BLT and many other things, but they were known for their chocolate Easter monkey and the BLT.
Question 7, where do you get Levy High apple pie that's considered one of Oprah Winfrey's favorite things? The Levy High apple pie comes from what restaurant in the St. Louis area?
Number 8, what is the number 1 selling ballpark food at Busch Stadium? The number 1 selling ballpark snack at Busch Stadium. And can you guess which MLB stadium sells the most of this particular thing?
Exactly.
Give it away.
Correct. Question 9, which bar in Alton, Illinois, it's located at 4th Street, Broadway, and Pearl Street, has had Mike Shannon serve as its spokesman for a long time? The name of the Alton Bar in Illinois, where Mike Shannon is a frontman for the particular restaurant.
I hope you can see Ellie, who is photobombing and trying to get on the show.
Well, I had to lift her up. I mean, everybody has the challenge of working from home. We don't have any kids at home, but we do have a about 6-year-old puppy dog that we have to deal with.
This can be.
Yes.
The Tiny Bar in downtown St. Louis plays homage to which St. Louis Browns baseball player? It's question number 10. The Tiny Bar in downtown St. Louis pays homage to which St. Louis Browns baseball player?
Question 11. What was the name of the chili parlor that began dishing out its favorite specialty at the St. Louis World's Fair 1904? The name of the chili parlor that began dishing out chili at the St. Louis World's Fair. That's question 11.
And speaking of the 1904 World's Fair, question 12 is name at least one of the iconic foods that came out of the World's Fair.
There were several choices, but we're asking you if you could come up with at least one.
If you're from St. Louis, you're going to know
Should know
several
that.
of them because that's
Question 13. The company that started business in Highland, Illinois, Helvetia Condensing Company, later moved to downtown St. Louis for their company headquarters and changed the name of the company to what? What was the name of the company that originally started as the Helvetia Condensing Company over in Highland, Illinois?
And number 14, what company was known for its checkerboard logo that began as a maker of animal feed? St. Louis company with the checkerboard logo started out with just animal feed.
Okay. Next question, 15. What was the soft drink brand that was known as the Billion Bubble Beverage? It was manufactured and distributed primarily in St. Louis. The soft drink brand made famous by the Billion Bubble Beverage.
Question 16, what was the name of the near beer brewed by Anheuser-Busch during Prohibition? Near beer. It was brewed during Prohibition.
I'm going to let you read the next one because you wanted to have.
Oh, okay. Number 17, fill in the blanks of the following jingle. I'm going to read it straight without being in the tune of the jingle, so make it a little harder. But I'm a meat man, and a meat man knows. The finest meats, ma'am, are fill in the blank. And those of us of a certain age remember this on the radio.
Was that a St. Louis company?
I think so.
Okay.
Famous.
Okay. 18. What does the song "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" want you to buy? Think of it again. Food products. What? There goes Ellie. What does the song "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" want you to buy?
Number 19. What ice cream shop was famous for its flavors as Gold Coast chocolate and Swiss chocolate? And the reason I said Rocky, I was thinking about Rocky Road. They had good ice cream. St. Louis
and
ice cream shop.
Final question out of the food category and the restaurant category. Again, thanks to Suzanne Corbett for contributing the questions. Name one of the St. Louis dairies that used to deliver door to door before they went out of business. One of the names of the St. Louis dairies before they stopped doing the home delivery service.
All right, we got a few more things to add to today's quiz because it's bonus day. We have two quizzes. We have the food quiz and the wood quiz. And this quiz was submitted by Lisa Flitner, and she says, based on my forestry degree and experience in the lumber industry with technology and innovation, the industry has changed, but here are some of the original products made from wood. So I'm going to say the product, and you say the type of wood it's made from, or we'll both say it.
Correct.
All right, the original ones. Number 1, Scrabble tiles. What wood was it made from?
Number 2 is syrup.
Number 3, what wood was Venetian blinds, wooden Venetian blinds originally made from?
Number 4 is whiskey barrels. What type of wood was the best wood to make whiskey barrels out of?
Number 5, toothpicks and clothespins. And actually, when you think about it, they are made out of the same type. They were made out of the same type of wood. So, the original wood that toothpicks and clothespins were made out of.
Number 6 is baseball bats, hockey sticks, and oars.
Number 7, what kind of wood were the original wood that hammer and axe handles were made out of?
And the last one of the wood questions, bowling alleys, basketball courts, and skating rinks. What type of wood were used for those floors? All right, so we're going to give the answers to the wood questions first, since we just asked them, then we'll go back and review all the answers for the food part.
Okay. Scrabble tiles?
Black forest maple. And the reason was?
There was no grain patterns to let you know on the other side. That was a pretty neat idea when you think about it. There were no grain patterns to give away the letters.
Correct. Number 2, syrup, obviously maple sugar maple. Wooden Venetian blinds was the magnolia.
The whiskey barrels was white oak, and toothpicks and clothespins, white birch.
The original baseball bats, hockey sticks made out of ash.
Some of them are still made out of ash.
Most of them still are. There also are some maple bats now too, but especially ones from Canada, but most of them are still made out of ash.
Okay.
Hickory wood for the hammer and axe handles.
And then the bowling alleys and basketball courts and skating rink, hard maple.
Okay. Now we'll go over the answers to the food questions. First one was the name of the official state grape of Missouri. It is Norton, Norton. So hopefully you got that right. We don't know if they have both white and red wines come out of that grape.
like drinking wine, but we don't know much about the grapes. So that would be a question for Suzanne.
The woman loves the grape. Okay.
Well, that's Randy Naughton. Mama loves the grape.
Number 2, Downtown Eatery, famous for not having a sign, closed then reopened before obviously the current situation going on. That's Beffa's.
Beffa's is an interesting place if you've never been there. A lot of media people know about it, and then a lot of people that are having meetings, secret meetings, they don't want anybody to know that they're meeting together, maybe job interviews or whatever, they would go to Beffa's. They had great food, too.
Question 3, before they became Major League stars, the Joe Garagiola and Yogi Berra worked at Ruggieri's on the Hill. The bonus point, Ruggieri's is now operated as the name of the Rose on the Hill, owned by Fazaz's.
Who was Julius Biggie Garignani's restaurant partner that played for the Cardinals?
That was Stan the Man Musial, and the last known location of that restaurant was on Oakland Avenue, across from the Forest Park, kind of about where the Science Center is right now.
Did you ever get a chance
I did
to
once.
eat there?
When we came up one time from Springfield when I was a kid, came up for the weekend, we went, I don't remember if it was lunch or dinner, but I do remember going there.
It was pretty neat. Everybody that's our age that's from St. Louis remembers that Stan would actually walk around and talk to the people in the restaurant. A lot of people have souvenirs. He always signed the menus.
Mm-hmm. Golditz Candy Company produced Jelly Bellies, one of the favorite foods of President Ronald Reagan. St. Louis Candy Company named for their chocolate Easter Monkey and BLT is Crown Candy.
Oprah's favorite thing of the pies was at the Blue Owl in Kimmswick. Oh, that makes me hungry just thinking about the Blue Owl.
Question 8 was the number 1 selling ballpark snack at Busch Stadium. It is nachos. And the bonus point question, which MLB stadium sells the most nachos during a season? And it is Busch Stadium.
And I'm sure the reason why they sell so many nachos is that Chef Norman is always working on different ways to perfect the nacho. He's got a lot of great ideas.
Mike Shannon's favorite bar in Alton is Fast Eddie's Bon Air. The Tiny Bar in downtown St. Louis pays homage to Eddie Goodell, who was, of course, the midget that appeared in one game for the Browns back in the late 1940s. Bonus point, Goodell's uniform number was 1/8. And the second bonus question, which wasn't part of the question, but he actually was wearing the uniform of Bill DeWitt Jr., who was the bat boy for the Browns at the time.
What was the name of the chili parlor?
O.T. Hodge.
All right.
One of the iconic foods that came out of the World's Fair in St. Louis in 1904, hot dogs, ice cream cones, iced tea, and fairy floss, which was cotton candy.
Highland, Illinois' Helvetia Condensing Company became what food company? It was Pet Milk.
Another famous company in St. Louis, Ralston Purina, with the checkerboard logo, they began selling animal feed. It was Ralston Purina.
And all of us knew that the Billion Bubble beverage is Vess.
Question 16, the name of the near beer that was brewed by the Anheuser Brewing Company before doing Prohibition, it was Bevo, named after that part of the St. Louis.
And the jingle, I'm a meat man, and a meat man knows the finest meats, ma'am, are May Rose. So it was May Rose.
Okay.
I know you're all singing that if you know that.
What does the song Take Me Out to the Ballpark Want You to Buy? Peanuts and Cracker Jack. The ice cream shop, famous for its such flavors as Gold Coast chocolate and Swiss chocolate, was Velvet Freeze.
And the St. Louis dairies, it was Bailey Farms Dairy, Quality Dairy, and Peevely Dairy. And we had Bailey Farm Dairy at our house. Now you didn't grow up in St. Louis.
No, I
but
grew up
you
in
remember the
Springfield.
milkman?
Highland Dairy was the milkman, but I don't honestly remember if we had the milkman came to our house or not.
Okay, and here's an interesting thing. I remember that Bob Cuban told us that his dad worked for Peevely Dairy.
Very
So
good.
yeah, the milkmans were big back then.
Absolutely. All right, well, thanks for joining in on this edition of Weathering the Storms of Life with the Rainses. Rob Raines, Sally Tippett Raines, STLSportsPage.com. Also directed out to our friends at RainbowsForKids.org. We'll be back with another edition very soon.